Good morning. Good morning. Although arguably it's not a good morning because the passing of Steve Jobs has definitely left a large hole in the universe. And I worked for him from 1983 to 1987, and then from 1995 to 1997 I worked for Apple again. And just as he came back towards the end of 1997, so we overlapped again. So arguably, I'm one of the few people in the world who've worked for Steve Jobs twice and survived. So I consider it an honor to have worked for him. He fundamentally changed my life. He changed the lives of many Apple employees. And he also changed the lives, I think, of many, many people in the computer business, in the phone business, in the tablet business, in many places, in the music business. So if you look at your agenda, I'm supposed to give a speech today about how to enchant people. How to be an enchanting person, to change people's hearts, minds, and actions. But because of Steve's death yesterday, this morning I wrote a completely new speech. And so you're not going to see what's on the agenda. I have a speech that's sort of dedicated to what I learned from Steve Jobs. And I think the lessons of Steve Jobs that you can apply to your startups. Because fundamentally, Steve was, arguably the world's greatest CEO, the world's greatest entrepreneur. I don't think anybody did any more for his customers or shareholders or employees than Steve Jobs. Truly, truly, no one has done more. So I have compiled the top 12 lessons that I learned and that I think all of you can apply to your companies. And so I have 12 key points. Usually I have 10, so there's a little bit of inflation in my speech. I use the top 10 format because in the last 2.5 decades I've seen so many high-tech executives speak. And I can tell you there are two key points about high-tech speakers, other than you, of course. The two key points are they suck and they go long. And that's a bad combination. If you suck and you're short, it's okay. And if you're good and you go long, it's okay. But if you suck and go long, it's like being stupid and arrogant. It's a bad combination. So these are my lessons that I learned from Steve Jobs, and I think that you can apply as entrepreneurs. So lesson number 1, experts are clueless. If you start listening to these so-called experts, the A-listers, the journalists, the analysts, they cannot help you as entrepreneurs. They're going to tell you to do better sameness, to do what everybody else thinks is right. They're going to tell you what their concept is, often from a very arrogant point of view. Usually they're disconnected from customers. I cannot tell you, Steve Jobs did not listen to experts. Quite the contrary, experts listened to him. And you could make the case that that's even more true today because of social media. That with Twitter and Facebook and Google+, you can get so much closer to people, so much faster, that to listen to the interpretation of experts and the pronouncements of experts is an absolute mistake. Pretty much, and I learned this from Steve, I watched him in action. Experts are clueless, especially people who declare themselves experts. You meet someone who calls himself or herself a social media expert or guru, that's the person to avoid. Okay? As an entrepreneur, you're going to have to figure stuff out by yourself. Don't rely on others. So that's first thing. Second thing, pretty much customers cannot tell you what they need. If we had asked customers in 1983 what they needed, they would have said, I need a bigger, faster, cheaper Apple II. Or I need a bigger, faster, cheaper MS-DOS machine. No one would have said, give us a cute little graphics toy that was slow, that had no software, thanks to me, that couldn't use any of the industry standards, which had a little mouse instead of cursor keys, that had a graphical user interface with a trash can in the lower right-hand corner. No one could have described that. And so you can ask customers about how to evolve something that you've already shipped, how to make a revolution better, but I don't think you can ask a customer how to create a revolution, because customers are going to describe what they want in terms of better, cheaper, 10% improvement. If you truly want to change the world, if you truly want to be a great entrepreneur, You cannot listen to customers, honestly. I mean, you know, the day that you hear that Apple's using focus groups to decide on its future products, that's the day to short Apple stock. I'll tell you right now. Customers cannot tell you what they need. Second thing, the third thing is that, you know, quite to perhaps people's surprise, what I learned in the Macintosh division, working with those 100 or so other great people, was that we rose to the occasion. We did our best work in our careers because we were presented with the biggest challenge. And so rather than trying to break things down into bite-sized, small little things, I think you should give your employees and your co-founders magnificent challenges, just huge challenges.